Every year, organizations lose roughly $2 trillion to failed strategic decisions. 60% of strategic initiatives collapse before reaching their goals. This failure isn't a lack of intelligence, it's a result of biological hardware. Human working memory can only juggle about 7 distinct items at once. When a strategic decision involves 20 competing factors, the brain experiences cognitive overload and simply drops the ball. We also struggle with inconsistent criteria. A variable we consider absolutely critical on a Monday morning often becomes an afterthought by Wednesday afternoon, leaving our most important choices without a stable foundation. These unstructured group dynamics aren't just messy, they are physically unequipped to process complex business variables with any kind of reliability. But cognitive overload is tame compared to the true threat in the room: hidden preferences. Unconscious biases shape every judgment we make, long before we ever open our mouths to speak. In the corporate ecosystem, those biases are weaponized by the apex predator, the HiPPO, the highest paid person's opinion. When the highest-ranking person speaks first, their opinion acts as a gravitational black hole. It warps the logic of the room, pulling every other perspective into alignment with their own. This dynamic kills genuine debate instantly. It turns a room full of highly capable experts into compliant yes-men who prioritize consensus over the truth. In this environment, the smartest ideas don't win. The most powerful person's bias wins. We cannot change our biology, but we can change our process by installing a cognitive exoskeleton, a structured framework designed to support our weak brains. The Think 25 intervention begins with a hierarchy. We break the complex problem down into bite-sized chunks. This chaotic problem reorganizes into a clean, hierarchical tree. Using mutually exclusive criteria solves cognitive overload before the first vote is cast. Breaking the problem into specific branches provides the structure necessary to keep the brain from being overwhelmed. With the structure in place, the team moves to a fundamental rule: vote first, talk later. In the blind pairwise comparison interface, stakeholders privately weigh isolated variables on a 1 to 9 scale. This captures honest perspectives before a HiPPO anchors the room. The slider records exact mathematical intensity, converting vague gut feelings into hard, comparable data points. By locking influence out of this initial phase, the system captures the true, unfiltered intelligence of every expert in the room. The final step is synthesis. We replace the subjective shouting match with mathematical weighting. This chart reveals a clear divergence. You can see a single heavily weighted vote from the CEO isolated against a dense cluster of experts who voted the opposite way. To ensure logical coherence, the software calculates an inconsistency ratio. This acts as a cognitive auditor, flagging when a leader's instinctive choice actually contradicts their own internal logic. This math provides the audit-proof documentation required to either validate a bold strategy or objectively veto a disastrous one. Because the math is doing the heavy lifting, workplace conflict becomes depersonalized. The discussion now shifts away from an interpersonal battle and into a safe, objective analysis of contrasting logic. When the data provides the cover for disagreement, the social risk of challenging a superior vanishes. It's no longer junior versus CEO. It's a collaborative exploration of whether the technical risk outweighs the client proximity. Separating the data input from the final synthesis strips the ego out of high-stakes corporate disagreements. This is what true alignment looks like. It's a modern environment where cooperation is a multiplier, not a compromise. By replacing the loudest voice with the smartest data, organizations eliminate the friction of implementation. When people see their expertise reflected in the math, they take deep ownership of the result. Great decisions aren't built on gut instinct. They are built by transforming high-stakes uncertainty into confident, data-driven clarity. This is the Think 25 mission, helping organizations achieve conscious evolution by grounding their most important choices in scientific rigor.